Maya Johnson was just finishing a client call when her phone buzzed with a number she didn't recognize. She almost let it go to voicemail until she saw it was from her bank. She clicked accept, a hint of curiosity in her voice. Hello. Hi, is this Maya Johnson? A calm, professional voice replied. This is Lauren from the Fraud Prevention Unit at Greenbridge Bank. Do you have a moment? Maya's chest tightened. Yes. What's going on? We're calling to confirm a recent loan activity under your account. A personal loan in the amount of $68,000 was processed and funded 2 weeks ago. We just flagged unusual address activity, so we wanted to double-check. Maya's world went still. I didn't apply for a loan, she said sharply. There was a pause. You're saying you didn't authorize this application. I didn't authorize anything. I haven't even logged into my Greenbridge account in weeks. Kaisi, we'll immediately escalate this to our fraud team. Can you confirm your current address for me? Maya rattled it off, voice tight. She could feel a cold sweat creeping up her neck. Thank you. The application was submitted under your name, SSN, and account number. But the address listed is different. It's listed as... Maya froze. That was her mother's address. Her stomach sank. We'll email you the full loan documents shortly, the bank rep continued. It includes the signature page and transaction history. Please review them and let us know immediately if it's not yours. Maya hung up, heart pounding. Her hands shook as she opened her inbox. There it was, loan agreement. Maya Johnson, she clicked the PDF, and there it was. Page 7. Her name. In neat cursive. Her signature, only she hadn't signed anything. She zoomed in, studying the strokes. It looked just like hers. It's the same way she signed her lease. Her tax returns. But the problem was, she hadn't touched a loan application in years. She scrolled to the deposit details. The bank had transferred the full amount into a checking account ending in 7,723. She didn't recognize the number. Then, she saw the mailing address, 214 Ashford Lane, her childhood home, her mom's house. Her fingers trembled. She stared at the screen for what felt like minutes. Her phone was already in her hand before she could think. She dialed. Hey, Switty, Gloria answered, chipper as ever. Everything all right? Maya swallowed. I just got a call from my bank. They said someone took out a $68,000 loan in my name, with my social security number and my signature. Silence. Maya's voice dropped to a whisper. Mom, they sent me the documents. The address listed is yours. There was a pause just long enough to confirm her worst fear. Then Gloria said, Cooley, I was going to tell you. Maya's heart dropped. What? I needed help, and I knew you'd say no. That's because it's my credit, my name, my legal identity. It was a family emergency, Gloria snapped. Suddenly, your brother was in trouble. I had no other choice. You had every other choice. You could have called me. You could have asked. Not forged my damn name. Gloria's tone turned icy. You're acting like I'm a criminal. I'm your mother. I changed your diapers, Maya. Maya was shaking. You stole from me. You owe us, Gloria hissed. You think we raised you for free? And that was it. The phone slipped from Maya's hand onto the table. The familiar living room around her plants she watered. Books she read, the window she loved all began to feel alien. Her mother had taken out a loan in her name. Forged her signature. Another part just sat there, numb, staring at her own name on a document she didn't sign. A ghost of herself. Weaponized against her. Maya pulled her knees up to her chest and whispered, What now? The road to San Antonio had never felt longer. Maya gripped the steering wheel, her jaw tight the whole drive. She couldn't even listen to music. Every lyric felt like mockery. Her mind kept circling the same brutal thought. She did this. She really did this to me. Her own mother by the time she pulled into the cracked driveway of 214 Ashford Lane. The sun had begun to dip. The house looked exactly the same: peach siding, wind chimes on the porch. A sagging rosebush, but now it felt like the facade of something rotten. She knocked once. Gloria opened the door as if nothing had happened. "Look who finally came by," oh, she said, smiling. "Want tea?" Maya stepped in stiffly. "I'm not here for tea, Mom." Gloria sighed but didn't look surprised. She turned and walked toward the kitchen. Maya followed. The kettle was already on the stove, as if Gloria had known this moment would come. "So," Maya said, planting her bag on the counter, "let's talk about the $68,000 loan you forged my name for." Gloria didn't flinch. She spooned loose-leaf tea into a strainer. "Like I said, it was a family emergency." Maya stared. "That's not a justification. That's a crime." "Oh, please. Don't be dramatic. Mom, it's identity theft. You act like I emptied your savings." Gloria snapped. "It's just a loan. You make good money. Wouldn't even have noticed if the bank hadn't called." Amaya's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. "You're unbelievable." Gloria exhaled, then softened her voice. "Look, I didn't want to do it, but Darius got into trouble again. Legal fees, car repossession. The bail bond was due. I didn't have time to ask. You had time." Maya shot back. "You just knew I'd say no." Gloria set the teapot down and leaned against the counter. "What was I supposed to do? Let my son go to jail?" Maya raised an eyebrow. "Your son has been bailed out by me 3 times already. And when I said I couldn't keep covering for him, you did this behind my back. He's your brother." "No, he's your excuse," Maya hissed. The room fell silent. For a moment, Gloria's expression cracked. She looked tired, maybe even ashamed. But it didn't last. Gloria's voice sharpened again. "Don't act like you haven't used our address before. For mail. For your college FAFSA. You owe us." Maya blinked. "That's not the same, and you know it." "Really? We let you stay here for free when you were jobless. We fed you. You use our car. That was 10 years ago." Gloria folded her arms. "You don't get to throw that in my face." "I do when you forge my name and put me in nearly $70,000 of debt." They stared at each other, decades of silent tension thick in the air. Maya's voice broke. "Do you even care what this does to me? My credit shot. I was days away from buying my first condo. I've worked my ass off to build independence just so you could rip it out from under me." Gloria looked away. Finally, she said, "I'm sorry you found out this way." Maya let out a bitter laugh. "You're not sorry for doing it. You're sorry you got caught." "No," Gloria said, stepping forward. "I'm sorry it's come to this, but I did what I had to do." "No," Maya replied coldly. "You did what you wanted to do. Because it was easier than owning up to your son's failures or asking your daughter for help like an adult." She grabbed her bag. "I'm reporting this," she said, "to the bank and maybe the police." Gloria's eyes turned cold. "You do that, you destroy this family." "No," Maya said, walking to the door. "You already did." Maya sat alone in her apartment that night, the city lights blinking outside her window like quiet warnings. Her inbox showed 6 missed calls from her mother. Minimum payment $1,426.57. She shut her laptop and pressed her hands against her face. This couldn't be her life. Except it was. Her credit score had already dropped 81 points. She could feel her dreams slipping one number at a time. Her condo deal fell through within days. The lender called her and gently explained that the sudden loan and credit hit disqualified her mid-approval. Maya felt hollow as she hung up. That condo had been her future, her safety, her finally made it moment. Now, she was just another fraud victim except the criminal shared her blood. The emotional fallout came harder than the financial one. Gloria started calling at odd hours, leaving guilt-laced voicemails. "You're blowing this out of proportion. Maya, you know Darius needed help. Would you really rather see him in jail?" Another message, "I gave you life. I asked for one favor and you want to report me like a stranger? And then the family text started. Her Aunt Denise messaged, "Sweetheart, I know your mom isn't perfect, but turning her in. That's harsh." Her cousin Raven added, "I get you're mad, but family doesn't take family to court. We handle things in-house." Everyone seemed more upset that she was fighting back than that Gloria had committed fraud. Maya responded to none of them. Instead, she went to work in a fog, barely making eye contact, just going through the motions. She missed 2 deadlines. Her manager pulled her aside. "Is everything okay at home?" he asked gently. She tried to smile. "Just ... some family drama." He nodded like he understood. But the truth was, he disdained single quotes. No one did. Her coworkers didn't know what it felt like to sit at the edge of a financial cliff someone else had dragged you to. They didn't know what it felt like to be told you were ungrateful for defending yourself. One night, as she lay in bed, Maya finally did something she'd been avoiding. She Googled, "Can I report my mom for identity theft?" The first link led her to a financial protection website, then another, a support forum. What she found floored her. Thread after thread, story after story. Grown adults posting in tears about how parents, spouses, and siblings had stolen their names for credit, cards, loans, even mortgages. She wasn't alone. One post read, "She's my mother, but I had to file. I was paying for her gambling for 5 years before I realized I was financing my own trauma." Another, "Reporting my dad was the hardest thing I've done, but I sleep now, and I own that peace." Maya scrolled in silence, her chest rising with the slow burn of resolve. The next morning, she made 2 calls, first to a financial attorney, second to the Austin Police Department's fraud unit. An officer named Jacobs listened carefully to her story. "It happens more than you'd believe," he said, grim. "And we've seen cases where parents even open multiple lines of credit in a kid's name without them knowing. You're doing the right thing." He told her what to bring: the signed loan documents, her ID, proof of residence, and a written timeline of events. Later that evening, Maya stood in front of the police station in a blazer and jeans, folder in hand. The Texas summer wind was hot, but she felt colder than ever. She stepped inside after 30 minutes. She gave her full statement to Officer Jacobs, who recorded everything. When they got to the part where Gloria had admitted it over the phone, he paused. "Do you still have that voicemail?" Maya nodded. "All of them? I backed them up." "I knew she'd try to deny it eventually." His eyes didn't flinch. "We'll start our investigation. You may get a call from a DA's office next. Until then, don't speak to her. Let us handle it." Maya walked out, her legs trembling. She had just reported her mother to the police. She didn't feel victorious, but she didn't feel weak either. That night, Gloria sent a final text. "You've destroyed this family." Maya read it in silence, then deleted it. No reply, no explanation, no apology. Just boundaries, and for the first time in years, it wasn't panic, it was something different, something sharper. Focus. The email from her lawyer arrived at 8:13 a.m. "Hi Maya, attached are the affidavit templates for the fraud case. Fill in the timeline with exact dates and any communications you can provide. Your ID and the original loan documents." She printed them out, sat at her dining table, and began typing. Each line was a blow to the fantasy that her family was still intact. "March 18th. Loan submitted to Greenbridge Bank under my name without consent. March 24th. Loan disbursed to account ending in 7,723. March 29th. I received a call from the bank's fraud department and discovered the forgery. March 30th. Confronted my mother, Gloria Johnson, in person. She admitted to forging the application to bail out my younger brother, Darius Johnson." Maya uploaded the voicemails. The one where Gloria said, "Don't be dramatic, it's just paperwork." The one where she hissed, "You think you're better than your own family?" The lawyer called her an hour later. "You did everything right," he said. "You're within your rights to request the loan be fully removed from your record." But because she's contesting the fraud claim, this might escalate to civil court. Maya blinked. Wait, she's fighting it? Yes. The bank notified her that a fraud claim was filed. She's trying to flip this like I'm the manipulator. The lawyer didn't laugh. Unfortunately, that's common. And in many cases, the victim gets pressured into withdrawing the report. Not this time, Maya thought. Not anymore. Later that afternoon, she visited the fraud investigation unit at the police station and submitted the affidavit in person. Officer Jacobs reviewed it carefully, highlighting the timestamps on the voicemail transcripts. She was bold, he said, tapping the loan document, real signature likeness too. Did she ever sign things for you in the past? Maya frowned. I was a teen sometimes, notes to school, stuff like that. I guess she just got good at it. Officer Jacobs nodded. It's not uncommon. Start small, then one day it's 68 grand. She left the station with a copy of the official police report. Like it didn't fully capture the storm swirling inside her at home. Maya did something she'd avoided for weeks. She opened her group family chat. Dozens of messages filled the screen. Aunt Denise, you really went to the cops. Are you okay? Cousin Raven? Look, your mom made a mistake. It's not some scam artist. Darius, you didn't just snitch on mom. You snitched on all of us. Ass. She stared at that last. 1. Snitched. No one asked how she was paying rent or why she couldn't qualify for her mortgage now, or if she was sleeping okay. To them, she wasn't a person. She was just the disappointment who didn't play along. Maya opened a blank message window and started to type. You all have made it very clear who matters and who doesn't in this family. Then she paused, deleted it. Instead, she opened a private support forum she'd bookmarked the night before. Thread title: My mother committed financial fraud in my name. The family blames me. She wrote, Hi, I'm Maya. I'm 31. My mom forged my signature to take out a $68,000 loan in my name. I reported her. Now my whole family has turned on me. I don't know if I did the right thing, but I do know I'm tired of pretending it didn't happen just to keep the peace. Within minutes, comments poured in. You're brave. You protected yourself. Okay? That's not betrayal, it's survival. Been there. It gets better. You'll find your real people. Maya stared at the screen as her eyes welled up. They were strangers, but somehow they saw her clearer than her own family did. That night, her doorbell rang. Her stomach clenched. Was it her mom? No, just a delivery. She opened the package. It was a small lockbox she'd ordered the week before. Inside, she placed her original ID, her police report, the voicemail backup USB, and her lawyer's documents. Then she locked it. It was her vault now. Not just of paperwork, but of truth. She may have lost her family's version of love, but she had gained something rarer: self-respect. The courtroom was cold, not because of the air conditioning, but because of the way Gloria looked at her across the aisle. No warmth. Apology. It's quiet rage. Maya sat beside her lawyer at the small rectangular table, documents stacked in front of her like armor. Her palms were slick with sweat, but she kept her back straight. This wasn't a criminal trial yet, but the civil suit would determine whether Maya remained legally responsible for the $68,000 debt her mother took out using her name. Gloria sat with a public defender, wearing a somber gray suit, her hands folded primly in her lap. She didn't look like someone who had forged a loan. She looked like someone going to church. Maya's lawyer leaned over. Remember? Stay calm. Let the evidence speak. The judge entered. All rose. Case number 48,962. Johnson versus Johnson Greenbridge. Financial fraud dispute. Maya swallowed hard. The clerk read the initial claim. The judge raised an eyebrow. So this is a daughter claiming her mother took out a fraudulent loan in her name. Gloria's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client maintains that there was verbal agreement between the two parties, Ms. Gloria. Johnson asserts that her daughter consented to the loan but is now experiencing buyer's remorse. Is that true? The judge asked, turning to Maya. Maya stood. No, Your Honor, I never gave consent. I didn't even know about the loan until the bank called me weeks later. Her voice wavered only once, but she didn't break. Her lawyer presented the forged documents first. The signature page, the address, mismatch. The bank statement showing the funds wired into Gloria's account. Then he played the voicemail recordings. The courtroom was silent. As Gloria's voice filled the room, "Don't be dramatic. You weren't using that credit anyway. You think you're better than your own family?" The judge tilted her head. "Ms. Johnson, is this your voice?" Gloria's mouth tightened. "Yes. Did you or did you not sign your daughter's name on a legal document?" There was a long pause. Finally, Gloria said, "I signed it. But only because I knew she would have helped if she wasn't so stubborn." The judge leaned back, unimpressed. "That's not consent. That's forgery." Glorious. Lawyer tried to pivot. "If I may, Your Honor, the money was used to help her younger brother, who was in dire need." The judge cut him off. "This isn't about who it helped. This is about how it was done." She looked at Maya. "You may sit." Maya exhaled and sank back into her seat. Gloria took the stand next. Her tone changed. She spoke softly. "She cried once. I raised that girl with everything I had," she said, her voice trembling. "I didn't mean to hurt her. I just wanted to help my son. I thought maybe one day she'd understand." But Maya noticed something in her mother's testimony. There was no remorse, only regret that she'd been caught. Her lawyer rose. "For final remarks, this case is simple," he said. "Family or not, this was financial abuse. My client's identity was used without consent. Her credit was damaged, her opportunities lost, and she was emotionally manipulated by the one person she should have been able to trust." The judge asked for a 10-minute recess before ruling. Maya stepped outside into the hallway, her heart thudding like a war drum. She looked out the window. For a moment, she saw herself at 10 years old chasing Darius in that same courthouse hallway. When their mom was filing for child support, she remembered thinking the system was scary. Cold. Now, it was her only shield. 10 minutes later, they were called back in. The judge cleared her throat. "I find in favor of the plaintiff, Maya Johnson. The court recognizes the loan as fraudulent. Greenbridge Bank is hereby ordered to remove the loan and all related delinquencies from her credit report." Maya's knees nearly buckled, but there was more. The court also refers this case to the district attorney's office for review of potential criminal charges. Forgery of legal documents and identity theft are serious offenses, and it is within the DA's purview to determine if prosecution is warranted. Maya turned to look at Gloria. Her mother's face had lost all color, for the first time since this began. Gloria didn't look angry. She looked scared. Court adjourned. Maya didn't approach her, didn't look back. She walked out the doors and into the sun, her breath catching in her chest, not because she won, but because for the first time in years she had chosen herself. The day after the court ruling, Maya opened her banking app for the first time in weeks without flinching. The fraudulent loan was gone. Her credit score hadn't fully recovered, but the red flags had vanished. For the first time in months, her financial future didn't feel like a trap someone else set. But peace didn't come easily. The emotional cost lingered longer than the debt. Her phone buzzed. Another message from Darius. "You really did that?" To Mom, "She's not even coming out of her room. You humiliated her." Then another from her Aunt Denise. "You've changed, Maya. We raised you better than this coldness." And then one more from Gloria herself. "I hope you're happy. You've torn this family apart." Maya stared at the screen. Not one person had said, "I'm sorry." Not one asked, "Are you okay?" She blocked all 3 numbers. It was time. Maya packed her last box and looked around her small apartment. It had been a haven once when she fled home after college. Now it felt like a place she had outgrown. Her realtor had found a new listing. And with the loan cleared, her mortgage approval came through. She was moving into a condo near the lakeside modern. Quiet. Fully. As she locked her door for the final time, her phone buzzed again. An unknown number. She let it ring. She didn't need to hear another guilt trip. Not when she was finally climbing out of the pit they'd tried to bury her in at her new place. She unpacked slowly. No rush, no drama. The air smelled like pine wood and new beginnings. Later that night, she walked out onto her balcony. Below, the city glimmered under the dusk sky. She sipped tea, pulled a blanket over her lap, and opened her laptop. New email. Subject: just checking in. Thought of you today. It was from an old college roommate, Tessa. They hadn't spoken in years. But Maya had recently replied to one of her Instagram stories with a quiet "proud of you." Tessa's message was simple. "I don't know if you're okay, but something. Told me you needed a friend. You ever want to talk? I'm here. No judgment. Just love." Maya smiled. Maybe she had lost a family, but maybe she was finally finding her people. The DA's office declined to press criminal charges, but Maya didn't care. The damage had been exposed. The silence in her family grew louder every day. No invitations, no birthdays. No more guilt trips pretending to be affection. It was strange at first. Like losing a limb she never realized was infected. But she got stronger. She started therapy, joined a financial accountability group, began telling parts of her story online anonymously. At first, one post went viral. My mom forged my name on a $68,000 loan. My family called me the traitor, but I stood my ground. Here's what I've learned about choosing peace over tradition. Thousands of comments poured in. This happened to me too. You're not alone. Thank you for saying what I never could. She cried that night, not from grief, but from recognition. There were thousands like her, and none of them were crazy. Maya hosted her first dinner party in her new home. 6 people came. Not one of them was related to her by blood. There was laughter, music, glasses clinking, no tension in the air. No walking on eggshells, just joy. When the last guest left and the dishes were done, she sat on her couch, curled under a throw blanket, and exhaled deeply. She pulled out the lockboxer. Vault of truth. She opened it. ID, court papers, voicemails, old wounds. She smiled and closed it again, not because she was afraid, but because she no longer needed to prove anything to anyone. She had survived, and now she was finally living. If you felt this story, you're not alone.